So, hello everybody, my name is Sarah and I am writing a novel. I did my hair today too, so, you know, just in case you were wondering why it looks so curly. I also got new makeup, so deal with it. Anyway, I love makeup and I love doing my hair and I like being girly, and then sometimes I like being a total boy, so life goes on. Today, I really realized that I need to sit down and kind of go through a bunch of topics to talk about on these videos because I've just been kind of spitballing it up to this point, and I'm a little concerned that come day 10 I'm gonna be fresh out of ideas. By the way, it's day 9 of NaNoWriMo, and yeah, I've started getting my word count back up where it needed to be after a long weekend. It was really nice having a nice long weekend though, so I'm not upset about it. And yeah, so I'm getting my darn word count book up. I got my word count up. Not where I'm supposed to be, obviously, but that's because I'm behind by a few days. Don't know really how I feel about that, and I don't know. If I go to the little thing and it tells me that to still make my word goal by the end of the month, I only need to get about 4,000 words per day, and I'm currently sitting at like 2,500, so I really just kind of need to like knuckle down and write. I wanted to be writing 5,000 words a day anyway, so this is probably just like encouragement to start writing more. Couple things that I am learning more about as I'm doing this. So fun thing about me, I'm dyslexic. I have dyslexia and dyscalculia, which basically means that I have a hard time, how to explain this? I don't have a hard time with reading comprehension. I have a hard time sometimes with font. So the font of something will really screw with me, and that will actually cause me to misread words and that kind of thing, which is always fun. It's always fun. But it also means when I write, I have a very hard time identifying words when they are, well, basically when they're misspelled. And spell check has been a huge lifesaver for me. I know most people like to bitch about it, but I think it's great. I wish it was like perfect, but it's not, and it makes me sound a hell of a lot smarter than my normal writing would, so I don't have too many complaints about spell check over the years. Every year I notice it gets a hell of a lot better than it was the year before, so eventually it's just gonna know what I'm saying before I even think it. That's kind of terrifying. But I have invested in a really great program called Dragon Pro? I don't remember. It's part of the Dragon suite, which is basically a speech-to-text program. I've tried using the Google one that I know is free, and I have varying bouts of disappointment with it. It's not really great for dictation. It's great if I'm trying to like dash off a message on text because I'm driving and I don't want to take my eyes off the road, and I don't actually text and drive, so it's really not even that big of an issue, honestly. But you know, sometimes I'm just lazy and I'll scream into my phone instead of typing out a message. It's okay for that. But for writing, because there's so many things that you are saying and doing specifically when you write, it's not great. Like, it has no freaking clue what a quotation mark is. So you can scream at it all day and it's not gonna give you a freaking quotation mark. I also find that it's incredibly inaccurate as far as deciphering what the hell you're saying. So I decided to give Dragon a try. It's pricey, so it's not something I would recommend to people on a budget. If you're gonna try dictation, just suck it up or find the money for Dragon. So far it's been a okay investment. It's a hell of a lot more accurate than anything else I've used. That includes my phone, which I found to be way more accurate than just yelling at my computer. I hate the dictation software that comes with your computer. It's atrocious. If it can even, I don't like it. There's nothing positive to say about it. My phone, like I said, it's functional for quick things, but as far as trying to dictate a paragraph, it's a little rough. Dragon, what I really like about it is you can customize it. You can add your own words, and then you can train it to recognize those words when you say it. So like all of my character names, I've gone through and trained it to recognize the character names, and I would say it gets them 8 times out of 10, which is a little bit better than I was expecting. I mean, let's be honest. I have some very weird sounding names. The other nice thing about it is it made me have to figure out how my names are pronounced, so there's that. I may have to change a couple of them because, like, frankly, I just don't know how I'm going to get people to pronounce them the way I think they should be pronounced. I don't know. That's a problem for another day. Naming your characters. The really cool thing about dictation, though, that I enjoy more than anything, and why I am constantly bashing my head against the dictation wall, is I can dictate faster than I can write, than I can type. I type a lot faster than I write, and the dictation software has fewer spelling errors, so this all goes back to the whole, like, I'm dyslexic thing. So I'm thrilled to have something that will preemptively catch my spelling mistakes. However, it's still just a program, so like its accuracy will never be 100%. I think Dragon boasts like a 90% out of, or maybe it's 80% out of box accuracy. What that means though is sound-alike words like I. It doesn't know which I you're meaning, so it just kind of defaults to the letter, even though I mean my eyeball, like my eye. It does that with other words that have sound-alike words that are spelt differently, and the spelling affects the definition of the word. What sucks about that is that happens to be my biggest weakness with my dyslexia. I mean, obviously the I thing is the I thing's pretty obvious, but like, just for example, I have a very hard time telling the difference between from and form, because all you do is switch the O and the R and you have 2 different words. I have an incredibly difficult time figuring out which one is what, and I have coping mechanisms to get around that. Like, find and replace is my best friend. But yeah, like with said, I'll switch up the 2 middle letters and I won't notice it. And if it weren't for squiggly marks, I wouldn't know, which is the real issue with from and forum, because, well, not form. Anyway, I'm being pedantic. Because both of those are spelled correctly, so the squiggly marks don't pop up. I will say the Google grammar thing, because I'm too cheap to buy a subscription to Grammarly, which is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I use the free version of it. I like it a lot. I just don't have the cash to throw down for a monthly subscription. Their subscriptions are not cheap. But I like it. If I could afford it, I would totally buy the whole thing. But Google has put a Grammarly competitor into their Google Docs, so part of my process for trying to catch as much of my spelling as I can is, after I get done spell checking it in Scrivener, which is, it's a decent spell check program, and I can do all my find and replace stuff in Scrivener, and then I pull it out of there and I dump it into a Google Doc, and I go back through it with Google's spell check and now their grammar check, which is really kind of useful because it catches from and form for me. So if it's reading a sentence and it has the wrong word in it, it will suggest that I switch it to the correct one. So that's kind of cool. And I'm really sorry for all this shaky stuff. Sorry guys, it's what it is. I had a migraine today, so the fact that I've gotten any writing done is kind of a small miracle in its own right. As you can clearly tell, my migraine has lifted, and I have ocular migraines, so that means that I go blind, I have searing sinus pain, and then I usually am nauseous, but today didn't have the nausea. However, when my migraine goes away, I get what they call euphoria, post-migraine euphoria. And it basically means that I'm super happy because all of the endorphins just release all at once, and my brain's like, whee! So clearly I am in a euphoric mood right now. It's the only good thing about migraines. Anyway, I'm gonna ride that euphoria out and try to get the rest of my word count in today. So hopefully when I do finally post this video and it has the word count in it, it will be somewhere around, let's see, where am I at? Hopefully it'll be somewhere around 20,000, even though I'm supposed to be at 25. So yeah, just to recap, just to make sure that I haven't just totally rambled this entire video. Yeah, I'm dyslexic. I use dictation software. I really am enjoying Dragon. I think for all the dictation software out there, it is hands down one of the best. If you can't afford it, I'm sorry. You can make Google's stuff work. You just have to be really patient and very willing to go back and do a lot of editing after the fact. Just depends on what you're doing. The nice thing about Google is it's already on your phone, so you know you're stuck in traffic, which happens a lot in Philly. You can just kind of whip your phone out and start talking to it. I do use an app on here which seems to have only slightly better accuracy, but I wouldn't call it perfect, but I do prefer it. And the reason I prefer it is because it stays on. Unlike the Google one where you have to keep pressing the stupid button, this one actually stays on. Ah, here we go. And it is called SpeechKey Voice Keyboard. Yeah, it's SpeechKeys. It's their voice app. If you get it, you can, there's two versions of it. They're both free. Well, or maybe they're like $1.99. That's not a bank breaker. But I think they do have a free version. If you get one of the versions, it's basically like SpeechKey Notes or something where you have to use the app itself to write your notes. And if you get the SpeechKeys keyboard, you can use it like a keyboard, like you would use for anything. So like when you want to go write a message, you can switch from, like, you know how you can do like your loopy loop, you can do Google handwriting, you can type, you can also use SpeechKey, and you can just talk to your phone, and the SpeechKey stays on. And the other thing I really like about SpeechKey is that it has a keyboard that pops up at the bottom of your screen so that you can add things like an enter and the quotation marks and periods and punctuation, because it's decent with punctuation and it's okay with giving you a new break when you say enter. It also does not know what quotation marks are, so you kind of have to add your own quotes. But again, you will find that you can dictate a lot faster than you can write, because you can just kind of babble whatever in your head and get it out. So I guess what I'm saying is SpeechKey keyboard is a fantastic app to use on your phone. It uses the same algorithm as Google as far as speech recognition, and I haven't figured out how to teach it words. I don't think you can, but it's a really good app. And if there's a price, it's less than, like, it can't be more than $5. I honestly can't remember how much it is because I bought it so many years ago. I've been using it forever. And Dragon for the computer, I know they've got an app for the phone, but again, it's a subscription. It's like $15 freaking a month. No. Anyway, for the computer, it's a one-time buy. It's kind of nice. I like it. It's the best that I've found so far. You can teach it words, which is a big bonus for writers, especially fiction writers who have our own language that we usually create. Yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is if you're dyslexic and you have a hard time writing and you have problems with words, there are definitely ways to get around any of those issues that you may have, just using your computer. So the other thing you can do is just not give a shit and write anyway. So that would be my advice to any other dyslexic authors out there. But video's getting long. See you guys tomorrow. I have no clue what I'm going to talk about, but it's day 10, so maybe I'll just make a list. Anyway, see you guys.